Alright, let's talk about drawing nets. So, the first shape I have there is a cube. So, the most basic form of a cube, let's start with what a net is. A net is basically taking that cube as unfolding it. So, the most basic form of that is kind of like the lowercase t. But that's not the only way to draw this net. So, you could have block up there, like that. What you can't have is one where the blocks are going to, or the squares, not blocks, the squares are going to cover each other up. So if you notice that, if I folded that, this square right here and this square would cover each other up, and then there would be no square on one side of the cube. So it wouldn't fold up to make a cube. So make sure when you're looking at these, you're looking at how to fold this up in order to form that shape. If sides overlap or there's a side missing, it's not the net of that figure. Alright, so let's look at another shape, a triangular prism. So if you notice, we're going to have two triangles and three rectangles. So when we draw this out, we need three rectangles and then two triangles off of it. So that would be the net of a triangular prism. Alright, so now we got two pyramids. We have a rectangular and a triangular pyramid. So if you look at a pyramid, you'll notice that you have the base shape, and then off of the base shape are triangles. So one difference between a pyramid and a prism is on a pyramid, your lateral sides are triangles, and on a prism, they're rectangles. So let's look at the net of the triangular pyramid. Bring that up right there. So those are the nets of some pyramids. Let's look at a couple more nets. Alright, so we'll do two more, a cone and a cylinder. So I'll start with the cylinder. And what you have with the cylinder, you have the top and the bottom base, which are circles. And then if you think about that, the lateral part of the cylinder, if you were to unroll it, just like if you were to unroll the label on a soup can, it would look like a rectangle. So it's a rectangle with a circle on either end. Now a cone has a circle base, so we'll start with the circle base. But the thing about that is the cone part of that is going to be curved. So it's like a triangle, but with a curved shape here attached to that circle. So that's what the net of a cone would look like. Alright, let's do two more. So we need a shape with 5 congruent rectangular regions. So you might see rectangular regions and think of rectangle. Well, the problem with that is if you're talking about a rectangular prism, it needs 6. And if you're talking about a pyramid, we could have 5 regions, but a pyramid isn't going to have rectangles, it's going to have triangles. So we need to think of a shape with 5 rectangles, but it doesn't mean it only has 5 rectangles. So you think something that has 5. So the shape that has 5 is a pentagon. So let's think of a pentagon here. So we got a pentagon, and off of that pentagon we can draw a prism. So we got a pentagonal prism here. There, my pen's skipping there a little bit. So we got a pentagonal prism. So if you notice on that, we're going to have 5 rectangles that are the lateral faces of that prism that are all going to be congruent. So 5 congruent rectangular regions would be a pentagonal prism. Anytime you start seeing rectangles, it's going to be a prism. So if we have 5 congruent triangular regions, again, you think 5, think pentagon, And then triangles means it's going to be a pyramid. So we start with a pentagon. And make it a pyramid. So you can see that we have 5 triangular regions on that, and they're all going to be congruent, assuming that the pentagon is a regular pentagon.